start our review of adding and subtracting radical expressions. Take a look at your worksheet and let's work out, let's look at number 2 together. Alright, number 2 on your worksheet says negative 3 square root 7 plus 4 square root 7. Now remember, y'all are writing this on your whiteboard. We'll do this one together, and then I'm going to give you one to practice, and I'll come around and kind of check and make sure that we're all doing the right thing. Okay? So, looking at this one, let's talk about our rules. Here's our anchor chart that we made. Okay? So, the very first thing I'm going to do is look to see if they have the same radical and the same what? Good. Same radical and same index. Okay, so looking at the two problems that I have up here, the two terms that I have up here, I have negative 3 square root 7 and 4 square root 7. Okay, so do those have the same radical?
Yep.
Yes, they both have the same radical, which is square root 7 in this case.
Yep.
Alright, do they have the same index? What's the index? 2. So do they both have the same index? Yes. Okay, so since they have the same radical and they have the same index, we can go ahead and add or subtract depending on what it tells me to do. What does this one tell me to do? It tells me to add. Okay, so all I have to do is add the coefficients. Coefficients are the what? What is the coefficient? What is a coefficient?
The number in front of it.
The number in front. Good. Okay, so we have negative 3 plus 4. So that's like you have negative $3, and then we're going to go and put $4 in the bank. So what does that leave me with? What does that give me?
Negative 1.
If I have negative 3 and I add 4 to it, it's going to give me positive 1. Perfect. So that would be 1 square root 7.
Alright, so square root 7.
That's another way to write it. Both of those would be correct. Okay? So you can either write 1 square root 7 or you can just write square root of 7. Same thing.
For a second, you had me thinking that we were supposed to add something.
Sorry, say that again?
I said for a second, you had me thinking we were supposed to add it together.
Because
Okay.
we're placing the money, that's why.
Nope,
It gets you.
you're good. Alright, so now I'm going to get y'all to work out. Look at number 14. This one's kind of tricky. Actually, let's do this one together. I lied. It's tricky. Alright, so negative 3 square root 6 plus 3 square root 6. Negative 3 square root 6 plus 3 square root 6. Do I have the same radical?
Yep.
Yes. Do I have the same index?
Yep.
So if I have the same radical and the same index, what do I need to do?
Add your quotient.
Add your coefficients. Okay, so in this case I have a negative 3 and a
3.
positive 3. So if I have a negative 3 and then I add 3 to it, what's going to happen? I have a negative 3 and I add 3 to it, what's going to happen?
You get 0.
You get 0. Okay, so do I have any square roots of 6 left?
Nope.
No, my answer would just be
0.
0. Okay, so that one was a little tricky.
Asher,
Yes,
I have Sierra Summerdale for checkout.
she's on her way.
Thank you.
I didn't go miss class like that.
Sierra, make sure that you finish. Just make sure that you finish the back of your worksheet for homework, okay? Alright, boys,
So,
ready?
yep.
Alright, you're going to be doing this one on your own, so let's look at number 4.
Yeah.
It says negative 9 square root 15 plus 10 square root 15. Alright, work that out on your whiteboard and I'm going to come around and check to make sure that you're on the right track.
Norm?
Sean, you can erase yours.
What's the date?
Perfect, Antonio, you can erase yours. Good, Micah, you can erase.
Got Eric, you can
Michael, why
erase.
you erase it like that?
Almost, Eric, keep going.
I gotta write the thing on.
Why you erase like that?
What now?
I got
Okay.
something to watch.
Do you have the same radical?
Yep.
Do you have the same index?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do now?
Add the coefficient.
Add your coefficients. So you have -9 plus 10.
Do I go down?
You have -$9, so you go and put $10 in the bank. What does that give you?
You got this,
Mm-hmm.
one.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, questions on this one? All right, let's move on to the ones where we have to simplify before we can add or subtract, which is what we were working on yesterday before y'all left. All right, let's take a look at number 10 on your worksheet. We'll do this one together, and then you're gonna get to do practice 1 or 2 on your own before you have to do your individual assignment for the day. All right, so first thing I look at, do I have the same radical? No, so I don't have the same radical, I have to simplify. So I'm going to look for my factors of 54. What times what gives me 54?
9 and 6.
Perfect. All right, what times what gives me 9?
3 and 3.
3 and 3. I should be able to stop right there because what do I see?
So,
I-
Two same come.
I see common factors, perfect.
alright.
Okay, so what comes outside of the
3.
radical?
Like 3 comes.
What's already outside?
3.
Another 3.
So what do I do with those numbers?
Divide. Multiply.
Multiply it, perfect.
Shoot.
So I'm gonna bring this one down, which is 2 square root of 6, plus 3 times 3 now will give me,
Wait, you said what?
3 times 3 gives
Oh,
me
9.
9. What's left on the inside of this radical?
6.
6.
The 6, that's our only factor that did not have a common factor, so it had to stay inside. Now, we have the same radical, and we have the same index, so what do we do with our coefficients?
Add it.
Add them, so 2 plus 9 gives me
11.
11 square root 6. Sounds like y'all got it going on, so let's go ahead and look at, y'all are gonna do this one on your own.
Oh, yeah?
Number 13.
Some go.
No. Number 13 says 3 square root of 8 plus 3 square root of 2. 3 square root of 8 plus 3 square root of 2. Go ahead, you're doing this one on your whiteboard. I'm gonna come around and check you off.
13 you said?
Yep, number 13. You're on the right track, Mike. Keep going.
When you get the two matching things,
Uh-huh.
multiply 2, right?
Yep,
You got 56 on here.
yep. Perfect. Now actually add your coefficients together. So keep going. One more step.
When we decide that.
What do you do with common factors? Where do they go?
Garbage.
Let's go.
What I do now? Bring that down.
Yep. And what stays on the inside of the radical for this one? Yep, so write it and then bring the second one down and then add your coefficients. Good, Micah.
I do not call that.
Down.
No, Alright, let's look at this one. So I'm going to factor my 8. So what times what gives me 8?
2 and 4.
2 and 4. And then what times what gives me 4?
2 and 2.
Alright, so do I have any common factors?
2.
2. Right? Antonio, look up here, bud. So, once I find my common factors, what comes outside? The 2 comes outside. What's already outside?
3.
So what do I do with those
Multiply.
numbers? So what is 3 times 2?
6.
6. What's left on the inside? Say it again, Micah.
2.
2. Plus, I just bring the second expression down. Now, do I have the same, oops, I was making stuff up. Do I have the same radical now?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have the same index?
Yes.
So what do I do with my coefficients?
Adam.
Add them together. So 6 plus 3 gives me 9, square root of 2. Alright, I'm going to get y'all to do one more. This one's going to be subtraction. And then y'all are going to be on your own. Okay? So let's look at number 15. I'm going to let y'all try number 15. It says negative 3 square root 20 minus the square root of 5. Negative 3 square root of 20 minus the square root of 5. Work that one out on your whiteboard and I'll come around and check you off. It's number 15.
Do the same thing, but
Put subtract instead of add.
it's no garbage.
Looking good so far, Micah. Alright, the only thing I see wrong here is you did not write the problem right. And there's not supposed to be a 2 right here. So if you now do a 2 times a negative 3, what do you get? A positive times a negative gives you a negative. So put your negative right there. That was not there. It's just a 1. So now what's negative 6 minus 1? Not just
I did
5,
it
but
correctly.
pretty sure. Look at it. Okay,
I think that's no.
well, you simplified them correctly, but you have not subtracted them yet. No, because you didn't follow your rules. Alright, so we're all about to the same place. We simplified it correctly. But at this point, we're having trouble with actually subtracting it because we are not following our integer rules. Okay, so let's go ahead and simplify this one.
Oh, I got it now.
What are my factors of 20?
5 and 4.
5 and 4. And then what are my factors of 4?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. So I have my set of 2's that gets to come outside. And so negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Y'all all got that. That was great. Okay, here's where we got stuck. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a negative 6 is my coefficient here, right?
Yeah.
What's my coefficient on the other side?
0. Only 1.
1. Alright, so I'm going to come over here to the side and write negative 6 minus 1. My rules for subtraction are keep, change, change. Keep the sign of the first term, change my subtraction sign to addition, and change the sign of the second term. So now I have adding with the same sign or opposite signs.
Opposite.
Are they both positive or is one both negative or is one positive and one's negative?
They both negative.
They're both negative, so this is adding with the same sign, right? So if I look up here at adding with the same sign, which is in red, I add my numbers together
But you keep the,
and keep the negative sign.
on
So what is 6 plus 1?
It's 5.
6,
7.
7. And then both of them are negative, so I'm going to keep the negative. So I actually have negative 7 square root 5 as my answer.
I slipped up.
Okay? So y'all did this, y'all simplified everything right. You just have to make sure that you do your signs, you pay attention to your integer rules and what your signs are.
I got it, Captain.
Does anybody have any questions? Do we need to see one more before you work on your problems?
Yes.
One more subtraction one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What we do this for ourselves?
You guys do the score cards thing.
Yeah, the cards on the walls. Alright, so let's look at number 17. 3 square root 18 minus 2 square root 2. Y'all go ahead and work that one out. Factor 18.
I was gonna do it.
Yep.
There's no one so.
Keep, change.
Oh, that's something I didn't do.
Let's see.
I didn't do that. Keep
Hang on.
change stuff.
What was your common factors over here? So 3 should have come outside. So 3 times 3 gives you,
I should have to multiply that?
always, if you have common factors and you bring it out, you multiply it.
Oh.
So fix that and that'll help you. What is 9 minus 2?
I'll keep the 18 there. I'll bring the 18 down.
Well, what do you have left on the inside?
3.
3.
No,
Not
I'll subtract
three.
that.
What do you have? You said 3 was your common
Yeah, 2.
factors, so you have 2 left. And then you just add or subtract your coefficients. And so bring your common factors outside. You're doing good. Perfect. You got it? Good. You can erase.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, let's go over this one. We're gonna factor our 18. Okay, y'all said the common factors were 3 and 6.
Yep.
And then I noticed that everybody did 2 and 3 for their 6. Okay, so our common factors for 18 are 3. I have one set of 3s right here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring my 3s outside. There's already a 3 out there, so 3 times 3 gives me 9. And what was left on the inside? 2. Minus, just gonna bring that second one down, which is 2 square root of 2. So now, all I do is add or subtract my coefficients. In this case, I have to subtract. So 9 minus 2 gives me 7 square root 2. Everybody did really good on that one. All right, so here's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes to do so, okay? There are problems taped on the walls around the room. There are 3 problems taped to the back wall. There are 4 problems taped to the front wall. And there are 4 problems taped to the wall with the door. The ones over here on this wall all have stars. What does that mean? They're harder. Okay, so if you choose to do the problems on this wall, you're gonna get extra points. You have to choose 3 problems. Okay, you're doing 3 additional problems. Yep. Okay, so you can choose whatever 3 problems you want to choose. You just need to make sure that whichever 3 problems you choose, if you choose any of these over here from this wall, you put a star on it so I know to add you an extra point if you get it correct. Okay, so y'all can go ahead and get started. I'm gonna give you about 10 minutes and then we'll come back and kind of check your progress here. I'm gonna set y'all a timer.
What was that? Ken? You do them on the board?
You have to be able to turn it in. So if you want to work it out on the board, that's fine. If you just, as long as you write your answers on something to give to me.
Right.
Okay?
So what? Oh. Oh.
Michelle, you need a piece of paper?
I can find one. I bet from yesterday.
I have it. You
Oh, you
turned it
got
in. Is that what you want to do your work on?
I was about to roll it.
There's your Russian.
Can you do your problems first?
Yeah.
Alright, I've got about 6 minutes left.
Are those different from what these are?
Say that again?
Are those different, are these different from those? Or what?
Yes.
I doubt it.
Eric, make sure you're working. You good, Brenda? Tell me what to do. You should be. What's your home factors? If we're just looking at this part right here, what's our common factors? I say bring it up. What's up on the inside? Two, so 3 square root of 2. Plus, which one can you already bring down? Which one already has a square root of 2? This one, right? So you just bring it down. What about square root of 8? What do you need to do with that? Cause you'll be able to find that common factor for all 3 of them, and you'll be able to add all 3 of them together.
What's over here?
And what's up on the inside? Now what do you do? Add what? Coefficients, good. Time's winding down, guys. Got about a minute left. Alright, does anybody have a question about one that they did? Or one that they want to see worked out?
Number
Well, okay, so which one is that?
3. I had the same thing happening.
Your-
I was
Your
gonna say that
number
too.
3 is gonna be different than everybody else's number 3. Alright, which one is it? This one right here? Now, what you did was you skipped a very important step. Okay? You went into factoring these. What's the first thing you should have asked yourself?
Or were they all the same?
Do they have the same radical? Are they the same radical? So since they're the same radical, you didn't have to factor them. So all you had to do was add them. So what coefficient is in front of the square root 24?
Just one.
Just one. What's coefficient over here? 1. So what's 1 plus 1? 2. So this should have been 2 square root 24. You made that problem way harder than it needed to be.
I did that.
Good. Any other questions?
I wanna talk about
Oh, you did a star one?
I'm trying to grade something.
Trying to get my grades up, I like that. Alright, so he did 2 square root of 18 minus 3 square root of 18 minus 3 square root of 2 minus the square root of 45. Alright? So, even though this has lots of terms in it, we still just factor them like we have been with everything else. So, I'm going to break 18 down. My factors of 18 are what?
6 and 3.
Okay, and I have actually 2 18s here, so I'm going to go ahead and break both of them down. And then what's the factors of 6?
3 and 2.
3 and 2, that is y'all. Okay, so go ahead and leave your
That was us?
yep, that's y'all. Leave your papers on your desk. The work that y'all did, leave them on your desk, Eric, and I will pick them up.
Who's phone?
So where we going? 6th period?
6th period.
Home. Bye.
Bye.